to Prepping with Sarge. I see Celine there. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Happy Friday. I am so excited. All right. Yeah. So we are definitely going to talk about what happens with all of your coinage with the Queen's imagery on there. So that is coming up. If this is your first time on the channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you find anything of value in today's video, please consider dropping a like at some point during the video. If you'd like to join us, please consider subscribing. I drop videos usually at least twice a week. We go live streaming on Fridays, as you can see. And if I don't live stream, it's so cool, but looking forward to this discussion. If I don't go live streaming on Fridays, I will, of course, give you something to watch. I'll drop a pre-recorded video. So as we get started here, I want to go through a couple things, housekeeping, give people a chance to get the notifications, and of course, get through ads. If you want to watch ads, I always appreciate that. Helps keep the channel going. My name is Sarge. I am not a military or police sergeant. It is just a nickname. I like to throw that out periodically so people are not confusing that. Please save your thanks for those who have earned it by their service. And that's a nickname that I earned in college. Hey, Digitals, good to see you. So this question here that we talked about, we're going to talk about today is something that I started asking and researching as soon as the Queen passed. And that I think I have some good answers for you today. The good news is your coins are not worthless, but there is some information you're going to need to know. Okay. So a couple other things before we get started. I want to go through my Wazoo Survival Gear code. For those of you, thank you. Several of you told me that the Wazoo Survival Gear code was not working. I got in touch with them and we got it fixed. But there is a new code. I have to go back through and fix that in as many videos as I can. Certainly, definitely in the more recent ones, in any of the videos where I reviewed their products. The new code is going to be Sarge 2022, and that will get you 5% off on the website. Now, the necklace that they did the Kickstarter on is available now for pre-order on the website, so you can go ahead over there. And in fact, let me see. I might, if I have it handy, I'll show you. All right. Yeah, so this here, the Firestarter necklace, you've seen me wear this in a lot of videos, and I've demonstrated how it works. This is a ceramic striker and a ferrocerium rod, and you can start fires with this, and it looks pretty cool. So this is now available for pre-order on their website. Go ahead and use my code SARGE2022 to get your 5% off. Now, if I am having any problems with audio, please let me know in the chat, because I won't know unless somebody tells me. Appreciate that. Okay, so that's one more thing. If you're in the prepping community and at any point this week somebody says something like gold and silver are useless when SHTF, I want you to remind them that across the ocean right now, there are two countries at war, in a very serious war, and there are men and women fleeing from those countries, and they are in many cases using gold to bribe their way across borders that are closed. And the border guards that are taking those are saving up enough so that they can get their families out. And then when they get to a new location in another country, they can change their gold and silver to the new currency. So when people say gold and silver has no use for preppers, they're well-intentioned, but they're wrong. And do I think it should be your first prep? No, definitely not. You need to focus on food security first. You need to focus on a way to purify water. Those need to be your top two. I would even say go ahead and pay down some debt. There's several things I would get squared away before you go to gold and silver, but gold and silver absolutely has a place in the prepper's mind, in the prepper's lifestyle, right? So anybody who doesn't get that, they're kind of thinking about things like, The Walking Dead, and they say, well, nobody wants your gold and silver. Well, it's just, they're thinking about things they're not seeing the forest for the trees. Sorry, I couldn't get my words together. They're not seeing the forest for the trees. You can't think about like EMP and zombies as like the only possible scenario. If you needed to get off the X to get out of your country, something like that, you needed to bug out of your country, you certainly would want to have a good amount of gold and silver. Now, there's other uses for it as well. At some point, all civilizations that have collapsed, the gold and silver has been a way to transfer wealth to the rise of the new civilization, and that's something else to consider. Gold has medical uses for dentistry, so maybe if you had a tooth issue in a serious grid down scenario, you might want to have some gold to bring to that city dentist, right? Or the town dentist, if you can find them. And silver can be made into colloidal silver with a couple of 9-volt batteries and some wires. I'm not going to go into that right now. It can be turned into colloidal silver, which functions very much like antibiotics, okay? So unless I decide to do a video on that at some point, you can look that up just by searching how to make colloidal silver, okay? So it's just if somebody brings that up, just, we need to crush that myth that gold and silver have no purpose for preppers. I think sometimes people don't want to find a reason to have to spend the money because it's one of the pricier preps, and I get that. And it shouldn't be your first preps, especially if money's tight. But it definitely has a place. Yeah, and you can melt it down for fillings. I personally have a dentist in the family. I would try to get to her if I could. I'm not going to try to do that myself, but perhaps maybe you even have like a veterinarian or something like that in your mutual assistance group that might be able to do that in a survival situation. All right, let's get right into it, folks. Topic of the day: what happens with all your coins that have the Queen's image? And I haven't done my research. I'm going to give you everything I've got right now. So the plan is that the currency is going to be phased out probably over the next 2 years. Specifically, the British currency is what I'm talking about now. Okay, so it's going to be phased out, starting with notes first, right? Yeah, that's right. We are all going to be rocking those grills, Billy. We are all going to be rocking those gold and silver grills in the apocalypse. Exactly. So gold and silver, your coins, this is probably going to be your last worry, but we are going to talk about what's going to happen with this stuff here. Keep in mind that 35 different nations currently use the Queen's image. And everything you see on the right side here, this is, of course, not my entire stack. I just put together a few things for the video. Everything you see on the right here has the Queen's image, right? So do we just have to throw this stuff out? No, Fred Petros, good to see you. We do not have to throw this stuff out. We do not have to cash it in. But what if you're sitting on some British pounds, right? That's going to be a little bit interesting. So as the currency is phased out, there's going to be a period of time where you're going to be able to turn that in for the new currency, which will, of course, will feature the effigy of King Charles III. How long, it is not clear yet. They've not said how long you'll have to be able to turn that currency over, and it's not even available yet. You can't even do it yet. M2, it's good to see you. Appreciate you. So what about some of the other countries? Well, there's 35 countries that are using the Queen's image. I can speak to a few of them that I know what the plan is. Royal Australian Mint and Perth Mint have already temporarily stopped producing coins with the Queen's image. So if you like stuff that comes out of the Perth Mint, I would go ahead and grab it. Right? Because there may be no more coming with the Queen's image, okay? That doesn't mean there's not going to be more coins coming out of the Perth Mint. Of course there is, but there may be no more coming with the Queen's image, okay? And actually, since we're talking about this right now, let me kind of give a little pause. I picked up 2 coins here recently because gold has been in such a phenomenal price. I got this one here. This is a 10th ounce Britannia, okay? And I got another 10th ounce Britannia right here. And I picked these up recently because gold is at a phenomenal buy point right now. If you've got the money to spare, like this is about, I didn't think it would drop to the price that it's at right now. This is unbelievable, and I wish I had more that I could put into it because it's not going to stay at that price point forever. All right. So I picked up 2 Britannias, and these are, if you think about it, these are going to be among the last of the Britannias produced with the Queen's image. Okay. Is that a collectible? We'll get to that. Stay with me. So Royal Australian Mint is temporarily stopping the production of their coins. Kentucky Survivalist, good to see you. Canada said they are not in a rush to do anything about this just yet. Okay. New Zealand will exhaust its current supply before introducing the King Charles III currency. All right. So that's where we're at. Those are the 4 biggest countries that are using the Queen's image. So the first ones to come out with King Charles III, it's probably going to be the UK. Appreciate that. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I wish I had more gold in my stack. I really do. It's at this price point. I wish I had $5,000, $10,000 to put into it right now. I would absolutely do it without hesitation. Wayne's good to see you, brother. All right, so then next what happens? England will be the first. A portrait of King Charles III will be commissioned, and the currency will probably not start to see circulation until the earliest, and this is at the very earliest, this is like really optimistic, would be sometime in 2023. Don't be surprised if it's late 2023, okay? Because again, there's nothing official yet. So then the currency exchange process would happen for several years. You would probably have at least a few years to exchange any currency that you want to exchange, right? And does that mean now here's the big question, and I don't know the answer to this. If you found, like say 10 years from now, right, you found a shoebox full of British pounds under grandma's bed, will you be able to turn it in at that point? Nobody has the answer to that yet, okay? Because at some point they could decide to make it like Confederate money in the United States is not worth anything except as a collectible. Okay, it has no fiat value. You can't purchase anything with it. You can't exchange it for U.S. dollars. That time, yeah, you just can't. It has a collectible value for people who want it, but that's it. It's not cheap, Billy. It's definitely not cheap. If I could buy more, I would. But you know, if you can, there's definitely higher premiums on the fractionals like this. But the way I look at it as a prepper stacker, that's right, Wayne. The way I look at it as a prepper stacker, I like having some fractional because I'm not always going to need an ounce of gold. I like to have some of these 10th ounces, and I've got a 1/4 ounce over here. This is a 1/4 ounce here. This does not have the Queen's image. Obviously, this is an American Eagle, but that's a 1/4 ounce there. So I like having some fractional gold. Would I like to have some ounces? Definitely. But yeah, stay within your budget. Definitely do not blow your budget. Don't go and charge your credit card up for this stuff. That's not the way to do this. In fact, using your credit card as little as possible right now is the smartest advice from financial prepping that you could do, because in the United States here, they just keep jacking up that interest rate, and they are committed to continue to jack up the interest rate. It's a very bad time to use a credit card. It's a very bad time to borrow money. All right. So if you can manage to do that, and I know people are struggling, if you can manage not to borrow, that's probably the best thing you can do for yourself right now. So what will happen with the gold and silver? And this is the big thing, right? So, well, before I get to that, will something like this rise in value as a collectible? Okay. From research that I said, coin experts are saying modern currency is not expected to rise too much. A.H. Baldwin and Sons are saying that always pay off those credit cards digital. You're right. So modern coins with the Queen's image are not expected to rise too much in value, right? So don't expect that all of a sudden these are going to be collectibles, unfortunately. But numismatic collectors sets might. Okay, commemorative sets and things like that might. I don't think I have anything like that here. I think I've got that all put away in my vault. But if you've got something like that, commemorative sets and things like that, those might go up in value. So silver and gold, what's the plan here? Do I have to turn all these coins in and exchange them for new silver and gold coins with the King Charles III's effigy? No. But all right, see down the bottom there, at the bottom of that coin where it says $1. That's a Canadian. Oh, that's an Australian coin there. Homeless in America, it's good to see you. Well, let me grab a British coin instead, because I don't know exactly how Canada is going to do it. So let's take this here. Gosh, my vision's terrible. Let's see. Hang on one second. I don't have a Britannia here. All right, so we'll just use our imagination here. Okay, let's say this is, I don't remember how much the Britannia is worth, but let's say it's worth £5, right? That's the face value of the coin. And when it changes over to King Charles III, Unless they change policy, that face value will no longer exist. Does that mean that the coin is worthless? No. The coin still has, and this is why we stack silver and gold. Our coins are not, the value is not in the face value. That's not what we're after. The value is in the rarity of the metal. And sometimes the value is in the rarity of the collectible, right? Yeah, Billy, I would think that too, but that's not what I'm reading. Okay. But who knows? Maybe that could change. Like if everybody starts going out and grabbing these up so there's none left, then maybe, especially if they don't keep circulating them and selling them and they start like disappearing from circulation, then maybe. But it's not likely to happen like that. But our silver and gold is worth value based on the rarity of the metal. So that's the melt value, right? That's the melt value. So we don't think about these as like $5 Canadian, right? Is that what this was? Let me look again. Yeah, so we don't think of this as $5 Canadian. We think of this as having a melt value of 1 ounce of silver, which is a lot more than $5 Canadian, okay? And we think about it is, does this have a rarity? Because this one's not a rare one, but some of the special edition ones, like is this Year of the Dog? Yeah. Some of the special edition ones have a little bit more rarity, right? So it has value for that. So that's much more important to us rather than the $1 Canadian in terms of the value, okay? Is it making sense? I think most of the people in the coin world understand this. So will they have an opportunity to trade this stuff in for things with King Charles III's image? No, they're not out yet. No, they're not out. Aloha, good to see you, Uncle. Will they have an opportunity to exchange that? Possibly, but you won't need to because you're not really after the face value anyways. Okay, so that's going to be up to whatever UK decides to do and these other countries decide to do. That's going to be up to them if they want to offer that. But you don't have to because you were never after that face value anyways. But it will level off and eventually, yeah, it's the silver value from most of this stuff that we're after. Exactly, Wayne. Yep. Fiat currency less than 3 sentences. The fact that the queen coins can be declared valueless by a politician. That's right. That's right, Bacon. That's right. Your fee, and I should have brought some dollars out here because the same thing for our dollars. It is just a piece of paper that has no real intrinsic value. But that being said, if you wanted to give me $20, I'm not going to refuse it. And if I wanted to give you $20, you're not going to refuse it either because it's based on the, belief and a promise, right? But it's not real value as opposed to these have, your gold and silver has real value based on its rarity. That's the difference. If we print billions and billions of dollars to do all kinds of things with, the more we print, in theory, it should be worth less and less. In practice, sometimes it takes a little bit longer than that, and there's other factors as well, such as like weighing our currency versus other currencies is a factor. But the British pound is just a piece of paper. The Canadian dollar is just a piece of paper. The U.S. dollar is just a piece of paper. They have no real intrinsic value. It's just belief. It's just a promise. Okay, so. All right, so that's pretty much the content that I had around the what's going to happen with the Queen's coins as far as we know so far. Let me kind of go through a couple things here for you. So here in South Carolina, we had a beautiful day. We're getting some really, really good weather here right now. I hope you all are getting some good weather. Bacon, I was going to drop your link here again just because you have been such a big help. There we go. In the chat, there's Bacon's link again. You've been such a big help on always moderating. And kind of getting back into the groove. I had taken a little bit of a break from making long content. I just kind of needed that, so I was releasing a lot of shorts that I had banked. I've got a video coming Tuesday to... Oh, I appreciate you, brother. I've got a video coming Tuesday where I'm going to finish up that interview with my brother about climbing Mount Kilimanjaro. And the second half of that video has to do more with the mental game, right? Like pushing yourself when your body is saying stop, pushing yourself, right? And I've not done military service. As I said at the start of the stream, I've not done military service, but those of you guys who have, that's something they train into you, right? Like it's part of your basic training. And then if any of you did anything beyond that, like, specialized training, things like that, they train you to push yourself way beyond when your body's saying, please stop, I can't take anymore, right? And the closest thing I've ever had was probably when I was doing my martial arts test, which is not the same thing. And I'm not trying to say it's the same thing, but there was definitely moments in my training where my body's screaming, stop, you're in pain, you're going to get hurt, you're going to die, right? I talked about that on one of the streams recently that I almost passed out during my green belt test. And I almost threw up during my black belt test. That's the closest thing I've got. And it comes, in those moments, it came down to like the sheer mental game where you had to say, Angie, it's good to see you. It was a mental game where I had to say, I ain't tapping out. I'm seeing this through. And if I pass out or if I get hurt, I'm willing to pay that price. Right. So my brother's going to talk about that with climbing Mount Kilimanjaro on Tuesday. Then I've got a bunch of guests coming. I've already booked a bunch of guests for October and September. October, November. Sorry, my ADD's been really, really bad today. October, November, I've got a bunch of guests coming. So I don't want to say who those are yet. Just stay tuned because I'm really excited. I got some big names in the prepping community. And I'm going to be a guest on somebody else's channel that's kind of a much bigger channel. So stay tuned for that announcement as well. Exactly. Rage Against the Machine. Actually, one of my favorite bands. I listened to them nonstop in the 90s. I think I had that, the first two albums on loop. All right, folks, I'm going to start to wind this one down. It's a short stream today. Overcoming. That's right. It's so much of that is the mental game. And if you all follow my friend Daniela Joy, she had a pretty big medical situation this past spring and had to basically take a break from. She does fitness videos. She had to take a break so that she could kind of get herself healed. And she's been talking about that mental game as well. So check out her channel, Daniela Joy. Really good person. And if you watched my live stream a couple weeks ago when I had all the YouTubers on, she was part of that as well. All right, so I want to say couple more things here. Kentucky, for some reason, that comment got hidden. Hang on one second. Let me fix it. I don't know why. That's weird. All he was saying was ungrateful peasant, and it blocked it. That's weird. Oh, yeah, I did want to talk about one more thing. So YouTube, so that just reminded me. So the other day I woke up, and have any of you had this? All of a sudden I went to my YouTube studio, and there was hundreds of comments going back like to 2 years ago. And some of them were people who follow my channel regularly. They had just like their comments had gotten suppressed by some kind of wonky mistake in the AI. And some of the comments, I can see why the AI blocked them. There was some vague threats and things like that. There was some weird trollish comments, some of which was funny, and I kind of wish I screenshotted before I deleted it. There was some mistaken comments where, like, if somebody said, hey, that coin is sexy, for some reason that got filtered out. Yeah, so you had that happen, Wayne, too. It was the weirdest thing. So I spent a morning and I just kind of, I guess YouTube thought it was an insult. I don't know. But it was weird. I went through and I cleared a bunch of them. I cleared out all those comments because I try to answer every comment that I get to the best of my ability. The larger the channel gets, the harder that gets to do. But and then I saw on a few of my other okay. I'm reading all your comments there, guys. Oh, Billy, you got our prayers, brother. I saw some other YouTube prepping channels talking about how they were having problems too, but like YouTube kept shutting off their comments. And that was kind of weird. So I don't know. They're doing something funky with the algorithm right now. Usually when they do this, things settle down. You probably have noticed your subscriber count go up and down a little bit too. Periodically they do what's called a subscriber audit, and they clear out like inactive accounts and bots. Unfortunately, they do make some mistakes with that. I have been unsubscribed to channels that I regularly follow. And the only way that I notice it is like I haven't gotten a notification in a while, and I go and say, hey, what happened to, the ungrateful peasant? Let me go check his channel. And for some reason it's unsubscribed me. So I got to go back and resubscribe. That was just an example. The one that has happened to me The one that it happens to a lot for me is Talon Sai. If you guys ever follow Talon Sai, he does a lot of knife videos and things like that, or he did. I don't know if he has recently. And they've unsubscribed me to his channel like 4 times. So who knows? Yeah, the comments thing's really weird. And I had a period of time where I was leaving comments on other people's channels and YouTube would immediately delete my comment. And I do, hey, Daniela Joy, I was just shouting you out a couple minutes ago. I was talking about, you know, how we have to overcome and the mental game of that and how you've been talking a lot about that. So there's Daniela Joy there. Daniela, do you mind to drop a link for your, oh, she's watching ads right now. Let me grab her link. Hang on one second, guys, because I want you to check out her channel too. She's good people's. Digitally, you've had that happen too. Yeah, and they're like totally innocent comments. Like there's no reason for that. All right, we're gonna drop your link right now. So if you're into fitness videos, go check out Daniela Joy. Great stuff over there. YouTube being YouTube. Yep. I hope everybody's getting some stuff done for 30 days of preparedness. Oh, the beginning of the feed. Huh. I'm going to go ahead and wind this one down. I'm not sure if Prepping by Faith is going on at 8:30. I know Bacon's going on probably later on tonight. If any of you all are going live tonight, go ahead and mention it right now so people can check out your channel. And I hope everybody's going to have a great weekend. Get outside, do something fun. I hope you're getting good weather like we're getting right now. And don't waste that if you do, because I know that we've got some storms. Oh, that was the other thing too. Don't forget, if you're in Florida, if you're watching this from Florida, please pay attention to the news. It looks like that invest or that tropical depression is now headed right towards you. Carbon Q, is good to see you. That tropical depression is okay. Prepping with Faith is going live, so y'all can check her out as well. Good people. Let me drop a link to her channel too. Hang on one second. Prepping by Faith. There we go. Yeah, so check out Prepping by Faith right there. She's going live right after me. And then, of course, Carbon Q's been, I've really been enjoying your channel too. Definitely please check out Carbon Q. She's got some great prepping content. Appreciate everybody. I'm going to go ahead and wind that down. If you're in Florida, please be careful, pay attention. That storm looks like it's probably going to slam right into you in sometime early next week. Check out Bacon's channel. Check out Prepping by Faith up next. Y'all have a great weekend. Keep planting your seeds. Keep stacking your silver. And don't worry about changing out those silver coins. This is Prepping with Sarge.